All right, today we're going to follow an apprentice named Jody as she gets to grips with one of the trickiest parts of her project controls qualification. We're talking about K16, Integrated Project Controls. So let's jump right in with a scene that, well, it might feel a little too familiar for some of you. Meet Jody. She's an apprentice at a company called Ibis Stores, and she's just been hit with a really tough question from her manager, Riddle. All of a sudden, her forecast is under this massive microscope. And honestly, so is her confidence. And this is the core of Jody's problem, right? She's feeling that pressure because her cost data, her project plan, and her risk register, they all feel like three completely separate puzzles. How on earth is she supposed to connect all those pieces to build one forecast that everyone can actually trust? Feeling totally stuck, Jody goes to see her mentor, Adam. Now, Adam knows that with a complex topic like K16, sometimes the best way in is to start with a really simple analogy. Jody says what a lot of us are probably thinking, but they are separate things. Cost, planning, risk, I literally manage them in different systems. And Adam, he kind of hits the nail on the head. He explains that seeing them as separate, that's the problem. Real project control is all about seeing them as one singular integrated system. To really make it click, Adam asks Jody to just forget about her project for a second. Instead, he wants her to imagine she's planning a huge cross-country road trip. That trip, that's her project. And he breaks it down like this. Your destination, that's your project scope. Your route map, well, that's your schedule. The money you've got for gas and snacks, that's your budget. And all those annoying traffic jams and unexpected detours, yep, you guessed it, those are your project risks. And here is the light bulb moment. You wouldn't have a map in one folder, your budget in another, and a list of potential problems stuffed in the glove box, would you? Of course not. For the trip to work, you need one integrated plan, where a traffic jam on your map immediately tells you you're gonna need more gas money. It all has to connect. And that brings us perfectly to the official definition of Knowledge K16. It's all about creating that single, consistent framework Adam's talking about. Why? So you can make decisions with real, actual confidence. Just look at the difference this makes. On the left, you've got siloed controls. It's a mess, right? Disconnected data, risks hiding in the shadows, and you're just reacting to problems with zero confidence. But on the right, with integrated controls, everything's aligned. Risks are out in the open, and you can make informed decisions with high confidence. I mean, it's the difference between chaos and control. Okay, so Jody finally gets why this whole integration thing is so critical. Now Adam gives her a super clear 5-step path to actually build this knowledge for herself. So this is the roadmap. First things first, you got to get your cost and schedule talking to each other. Then you weave in risk and opportunity. After that, you dig into the analysis to really understand your exposure. Step 4 is using that analysis to figure out your contingency, your safety net. And finally, you pull it all together and apply that amazing insight to create forecasts you can actually stand behind. Knowing how to do it is one thing, but for her level 6 qualification, Jody has to prove it. So she meets up with her skills coach, Olivia, to get ready for her assessments, starting with how to log her evidence in EPTM. Olivia's job is to make sure Jody can show what she knows. So she starts by showing Jody exactly what the assessors are looking for when they check her evidence log in EPTM. And this is so important. Just uploading a forecast report isn't going to cut it. The assessors, they want to see your thinking. They're looking for those reflective statements that explain how you connected everything. They want to see that clear, undeniable line drawn between your risk analysis and the contingency money you're holding. Next up, Olivia preps Jody for her endpoint assessment, the EPA. They start role-playing some classic questions, and trust me, this is a big one they'll almost definitely ask. Olivia's advice here is absolute gold. She says, don't just talk about the theory. Be ready with a real, practical example. Tell them you used a single risk register as your single source of truth. Then pick one risk and walk them through exactly how its potential cost was added to your forecast and how its potential delay was built right into your schedule. Then they move on to another critical EPA topic. See, it's not enough to just have a contingency fund. You have to be able to justify exactly how you got to that number. And here's the secret sauce. The answer can never be, it just felt about right. No way. The answer is that your contingency is a direct output of your risk analysis. You need to explain that you ran a simulation, you targeted a specific confidence level, like P80 and 80% confidence, and then boom, the analysis gave you the precise contingency amount needed to hit it. It's science, not a gut feeling. So now, armed with Adam's framework and Olivia's coaching, Jody's ready. She goes back, rebuilds her forecast from the ground up using these integrated principles, and presents it to her manager, Riddle. This time, when Riddle asks how confident she is, Jody has a real answer. She doesn't just feel confident, she can prove it. Based on her integrated analysis, the project has a 90% probability of being delivered within this new forecast. See, she's not just presenting a bunch of numbers anymore, she's telling the whole story. She explains how the project plan, the cost estimate, and the risk register are all connected and how her contingency is directly calculated from those risks. And that is exactly the assurance Rita was looking for. So Jody went from total confusion to real confidence, all by mastering these principles of integration. So the thing to take away from all this is a question for yourself. When you look at your own project, where's the biggest gap between your cost, your schedule, and your risks? Because finding that gap, well, that's the very first step to building the bridge.